What's going on, guys? My name is Derrick. Welcome to my channel, Superbike Life, or ESBKLife for short, and the next episode in my wrecked bike rebuild video series, where I take a wrecked 2012 MV Agusta F4RR Corsa Corta that has been down, obviously wrecked, and we're going to turn it into one badass street bike with the help of Bellissimoto and all of my other sponsors. In today's episode, we're doing something that we've already done before, but on my BMW S1000RR street bike. We're installing some Samco silicone hoses with the performance clamps, and we're going to fill it with the recommended engine ice. So without further ado, let's roll the intro and get into this. Welcome back, guys. So let's take a peek at what's in the kit that you received from Samco. Dump all of these out. So let's see. Lay these all out here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a plug, because basically these are all one hose. So 7 hose kit. And to point out where the hoses are. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the other 3 hoses are on the other side of the bike. I considered removing the tank, but because this hose here, the hose clamp, looks like it can be a little bit tricky to get to, but we don't gain anything by removing the tank to get to this, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to grab a flathead screwdriver. We're going to start to remove these hoses. And if you guys looked at or already viewed my last episode where we put in or installed our performance water pump here, this back hose doesn't have a clamp on it. I left it off knowing that I'm going to do this today. But we've already drained the system, so there's no need to do that. So if you're following along and you're going to do this all in one shot, you'll need to drain your coolant system by this screw here on the bottom of your water pump, whether it's the performance water pump or whether it's your stock OEM one. You'll remove this drain screw, let it drain out. Also remove the radiator cap and fully drain it. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot we need to do, so let's jump right into it. So I'm going to start with this one up here. And there's one in here. Pop that. There you go. We got that one out as well. Now I am going to go and grab a 5mm Allen and an 8mm socket, probably 1/4-inch drive. One to remove these 2 clamps, and we're going to remove this cover off of here so I can get to the back and just yank that other hose off. So again, we're probably going to lose a little bit of coolant here. Like I said, we're probably going to lose a little bit of water. Okay, so those 2 are off. I'm going to place this one here. Like so. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last episode, or not last episode, but the last time we changed the Samco hoses. If you don't use their brand of hose clamps, they will not warranty your hoses for life. So these Samco silicone hoses have a lifetime warranty, but only if you use their clamps. If you use anyone else's clamps, you're on your own. So FYI. Okay. And then you are off. There is not going to be an easy way to get to this one. I'm going to angle this one up and then get at it like this. These Samco hoses are thicker than the stock hoses, so sometimes you can fight to get them on if the clearances are tight between other parts. I may actually have to pull this water pump off to get this on here properly. There we go. Grab some blue Loctite. So now we'll move on to this hose here. Let's see. All right, change of plans because the tolerances are so tight, I can't actually get this hose clamp past that cover. So I'm going to take it out. All right, guys, so I got the hose clamp on. What I ended up having to do is I had to remove the water pump again. Because the tolerances are so tight in here, I couldn't actually get the hose clamp past the case here. So I took the water pump out, put the hose clamp on, oriented in the position that I wanted, and then just tightened it back up. I have a similar problem here on the top with the hose clamp going by the case, but I was able to sneak it by there. So now I'm just going to get a long flathead screwdriver and come down at it this way and tighten it up. All right, so now we will move on to these. I'm actually just going to tuck it back like that. One. So we also have a plug here that we can swap out. I might as well, right? And now all that is left to do is to put this on. Make sure, get these where I want them. All right, looks good. Give that a twist. Okay. I already have blue Loctite on these. All right, we just need to tighten these down here. Oh, I actually left these on. Okay, so now we just need to tighten up hose clamps here and here and here and here, and then we'll flip the bike around and go on the other side. So I've flipped the bike around to the other side so we can keep the same lighting. Now we're just going to remove this hose here and then the drain hoses that are coming off the overflow tank. See, these are the hose clamps that I thought were on my BMW and were not. And I didn't pay attention and I cost myself a radiator. Now what I've learned from changing the hoses thus far on this bike are that the tolerances are extremely, extremely tight. So this one's going to go here, and then we have these other hose clamps. So you may have to get everything lined up, take it off, tighten the hose clamp, and then put it on in some cases, not all. Okay. I want that to be on that side. I want this to be on top. Okay. So my brother refuses to answer the phone, as you can hear. Now we have these tiny guys, which I always debate whether I should change or not because these are just overflow hoses, but if you're gonna do it right. All right. So I assume that this short hose is somewhere under there. I'm not sure I want to tackle that right now. Yeah, I see where this is. Well, let me show you guys real quick. That hose is right here. It goes right in there or vice versa, like that. Not today. Instead, we are going to fill said system. And I will worry about that stuff later. All right, so let me find a funnel and I'll be right back. All right, guys, it's time to fill our system. We're going to use the recommended engine ice. That's what's recommended in our owner's manual. I went ahead and removed the right-hand intake runner just so I have some clearance to get the coolant directly into the radiator. MV recommends that you elevate the front of the bike when you do this. I don't have the ability to do that here. I'm not at home. I don't have my lift. My brother doesn't have a lift. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the air bleeder screw. We're going to fill it and just sort of let it take its time. We'll fill it, run it, and let it do its thing. All right? So I'm going to grab my 8mm socket and just remove this air bleeder screw. Okay, screw removed. And now we're just going to fill the system here. Now, engine ice is already pre-mixed with deionized water. Basically what that means is it's sort of like distilled water, but there are even fewer chemicals or minerals left in it. So it makes for really, really clean system inside, doesn't leave any scaling or anything like that, any mineral buildup. What they recommend that you do if you've used, not engine ice, but if you used any other coolant or antifreeze, once you flush it, they recommend using distilled water and some vinegar to fill the bike, run it a little bit, flush it out, do that a couple of times. And the vinegar is sort of acidic and it'll eat away all of those minerals and scales inside your bike, and then fill with this. But this bike has been filled with distilled water for quite a while, and we flushed it through a couple of times. So I'm okay not doing another flush with vinegar. I'm just going to go ahead and fill it here. But again, if you really want to do it properly, not that I'm doing it improperly, but you want to get some distilled water and some vinegar. You can Google what the mixture should be, but you fill the system, top it up, run the engine a little bit, flush it out, do that maybe another 2 or 3 times, and then your system should be free and clear of any scale or mineral buildup or anything like that. In Arizona, we have extremely hard water. Not that you ever should use tap water in your bike, but we have extremely hard water and a lot of calcium buildup. So here in New England, they don't have that problem. So I think I'm pretty close. I still have that much left. I think that will be plenty for our overflow tank. So it's starting to go down here. So what the process will be from here on out, no sense in trying to film this because it's just a lot of waiting. So I'll wait maybe half an hour, maybe even an hour, let this settle back down. I'll top it up some more. And then what I'll do is I'll put the battery in the bike, I'll start it, let it run a few minutes, let it cool again, and then I'll check it, and we'll just continue to do that. Just like any other bike, nothing particularly special. So with having said that, I think that's a wrap for this latest episode of my Wrecked Bike Rebuild, sponsored by Bellissimoto. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and smash it if you didn't like this. Leave me some comments, let me know what you liked about this video, what you didn't like, if I missed something, if I did it wrong, so forth and so on. Again, I don't claim to be an expert. I am not a trained technician. These are just things that I have learned over the course of the last 30 years of riding and turning wrenches on my own bike. And a lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it is looking stuff up and getting the answers from professionals. A lot of it is simply failing and knowing not to do it that way the next time. But I'm Derrick. This is Euro Superbike Life. Be sure to check out Bellissimoto, bellissimoto.com, for all your European Superbike needs, as well as your Japanese bikes as well. They have stuff for everyone. Again, Derrick, Euro Superbike Life. Take care, guys.